Shartimus Prime, Shartimus Prime. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it. Taking bad hits, taking bad shit. Shartimus, subscribe. Hey, what's up, you guys? Shartimus Prime here, doing another NECA figure review on the Avengers 1/4 scale Captain America figure. I picked this up a few months ago at the Wizard World in Sacramento. Got this guy for a pretty reasonable deal, 85 bucks. That's how much they go for new. There's gonna be another Captain America coming out, and I think it's the maskless Captain America is coming out from NECA. That's coming out pretty soon. So if you want to get your NECA figures and you can't find them at a Wizard World, you can get them at big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below. It's just like the packaging that we've seen on the other 1/4 scale figures. This thing is cool. It really looks like the character. You have the shield right here, and you have the white and the stripes right down there. You have the red stripes at the bottom. And it's all designed nicely, so it kind of looks like Captain America's suit from the Avengers movie, which is really cool. And you have this nice window box where you can see the huge figure. Now, this is NECA's first attempt at making a 1/4 scale articulated figure like this. So we'll see how they did for their very first try. And then we get this bio on Captain America on the very back. If you want to go ahead and read that, pause it now. And then we have some credits right over here. If you want to read the credits, go ahead and pause that. And then at the bottom right over there, we get the shield bleeding down, and it says Avengers, and we get a barcode. It says NECA right there. We get the A and the wings and everything. So anyway, I've been wanting to open up this figure. I already have the Iron Man and Thor from this 1/4 NECA scale figure set, so let's crack this thing open. So here's our gigantic Captain America figure out of the packaging, and I think NECA did a really good job, especially for their very first try at an 18-inch fully articulated figure. This thing is pretty sweet. I do have a couple of complaints. My biggest complaint, though, isn't really that big of a deal. It's some paint chipping. He comes with some interchangeable hands and a shield, which you can obviously see over there, but the hands do chip on the hinges on the paint. So let's go over the accessories of the figure, and then we'll take a closer look at this guy. So this is the first out of the two sets of hands. We have a pair of fisted hands over here. This left fist seems to have a little bit of a gap right over there as opposed to the right one. And the fingers don't bend or anything. They're stationary, but look at the paint sculpt on these. This is very, very well done. I like all the little stitching in there. We have this nice black wash coming in and out to this nicely painted red. I like the choice of red for this one. We have the Marvel Legends Avengers Captain America, and that came with a very bright red. I really like this though. We get a little weird yellow paint splotch right there, but not a big deal overall. I really like these hands. You can see how they peg into the wrists. It's just this peg right here. And then here's the second pair of hands that don't necessarily match, but look pretty cool. But this left hand looks a little cooler to me. I really like the open hand right over here. This looks really nice. Again, the gloves look awesome. Great paint detail. Great sculpt. I like all these little diamonds sculpted in here too. Those little dots over there. Wow, this looks really cool. And then I like this right here with the blue. You can really see the blue on this one. That's painted really well and everything, so pretty neat. I don't really like the positioning on this one. I guess this is his parkouring or something, like he's leaning on something while hopping over a car or something, I guess. You can see a little speck right there. There's a lot of paint chipping on here, but luckily the plastic choice matches pretty well with the rest of the figure. I mean, you can see the difference, but still, it doesn't stick out too bad, and you can see what's left over of the red right there. And then the last accessory is Captain America's Mighty Shield. A very cool looking shield. I like this shield a lot. A little inaccurate from the movie though. I believe the movie still had the lines coming in towards the center, so that is a little off. I'm pretty sure we do have the lines that meet in the middle, just like how it did in First Avenger, and it kind of has some metallic color to it. It definitely does have this metallic reflective paint in it though, so it's not chromed out like the Hot Toys Captain America shield, but this is still a very nice looking Captain America shield, and the lines are all sculpted in there. And then the back of it on the inside of the shield looks great too. I really like this tan color over here, even though I think it should be a little bit darker, but I still think it looks cool. And we have stitching sculpted in here, and the detail of these little silver buckles right here. This just looks awesome. Now the straps don't really work or anything, they're just sculpted closed like this, which is fine, and you cannot detach these. I thought you could at one point, but no, you cannot. Don't try doing that. Now, adding the shield onto Captain America's arm, for me, isn't really the easiest thing in the world, but I actually think it's a little bit better if you put the fist on first and then weave the shield through. So now I'm going to just try to put the fist on all by itself, and there it goes. It goes in actually quite a bit easier like that, and then if I just weave this through, I think it should be okay. You may see some pooling right over here, but as long as you're careful with it. Now this does get a little loose, like when you're posing around it'll like droop down on you, but if you just move this up a little bit and put some pressure against it right here at the fist, not too much because again you don't want this thing snapping, even though I haven't really heard of anybody having that snap on theirs, but still if you put it like that, and it looks a little bit more realistic too, so it'll stay stationary, you don't have to worry about it moving on you. As far as the head's paint sculpt goes, I'm a little bit more impressed with the sculpting than the paint applications. I think the sculpting makes him look like Chris Evans, a very terrified Chris Evans, but the paint applications, it makes his face look a little too pale. And to be fair, my settings are a little on the bright side, but still, when you see it in person, it does look a bit pale, and there is a little bit of blue kind of seeping through on some parts of the face over here. So I think they could have chosen a little bit darker flesh tone as opposed to what we have right here. The eyes came out looking pretty good. Again, he looks a bit terrified, a little bit serious, but the mouth looks alright and everything. And I like the helmet. The helmet looks pretty good. It looks like the paint application kind of stopped a little early on this piece right here. I think the silver should have continued off, but it doesn't really look too bad. I actually just noticed that now. I really like the sculpting and stitching right here on the neck piece. And this little piece, this collar, is made out of a little bit more of a pliable material, so it helps with articulation. And I like the sculpted A. The silver looks good. Again, this seems like it got cut off, but I could be wrong about that. Maybe it's supposed to stop there. I don't know. He's got some lines right there on the top of the head. So then there's the back of the head. So pretty nice sculpting on the head. Throughout the whole figure, there's just a ton of sculpted detail work in this, and I really appreciate it. I like seeing it. I think it's awesome. Like this star over here, it looks very nice. You can see the texture of his suit and everything. We got those little bolts at the edges of the stars. That's how it's supposed to look on the shield, by the way. It's supposed to have those kind of lines going through it. And we basically have two different colors of blue. We have the brighter blue, and you can see by his collarbone up there, that's the darker blue. And it's just a combination of those two colors right there. Plus we have the silver right there on the shoulders. That looks pretty nice. Here's just getting a look at the back of the figure, by the way. No star or anything. I don't think he's supposed to have a star over here. And then we got some more stitching. Nice detail right there on the arm. And then looking at the gloves actually look really, really cool. I like how the gloves came out a lot. That looks nice. Look at those silver paint applications. Again, with that black wash over the red. I turned the lights down just a little bit. It comes out a little better this way, seeing the detail over the white over here. And then there's some actual darker red over the red in these stripe sections. Same thing with the biceps too. Kind of tricky to see. The left side has a little bit of paint smudging, not a big deal. The zipper actually looks pretty nice on this thing too, and I actually like this belt a lot. This belt is pretty neat. Now nothing detaches or anything, but I think, and it doesn't really move around either. That's one thing I was kind of hoping for, but the sculpting and the paint applications look good on the belt. Like all those little silver paint applications right there. Looks pretty good. Then we move down past his Captain America and then onto these zippers right over there. That look pretty cool. Zippers are pretty nice. Again, you can see the two different tones that I'm talking about. You can see there's a darker blue and then the lighter blue. Those two different color blues, and then you got his knee pads. And we have some very cool looking boots. I really like how they're textured. You can see it kind of looks like leather, the way those little lines are sculpted in there, going horizontally right there on the calf part of the boot. That looks awesome. Even on the shin part, you can see some of those wrinkles in the darker red area. That's pretty nice. I really like how this looks. These are very, very cool looking boots. Even the treads of these things are awesome. Look at that. And he has hole pegs. That's very, very cool. So the word is that we're supposed to get some display stands for these 1/4-inch scale figures. I hope to see that soon. So his articulation is not too bad. His head cannot move up though. That's a little frustrating. I don't like it when the head doesn't move up. It is on a ball peg though, so I was able to remove this, and you can plug it back in. Like I said, there's going to be a maskless version of this Captain America figure coming out from NECA soon. So I wonder if the head's going to be able to pop off on that one so you could switch them out and everything. But anyway, his head does rotate side to side, and it does look down pretty well. And like I said before, this is made out of a pliable material right here by the neck, but it is still a bit firm. His arms move outward, and you can rotate his arms forward. He does have a single jointed elbow that just bends in not even quite 90 degrees, and it rotates side to side. And he does have a wrist hinge right here, plus you can turn this side to side as well. And it's the same articulation for all 4 of the hands. He has a diaphragm joint that can rotate side to side. Scoop, there goes the shield. But you can move these side to side. It's just a little tricky, and then that comes off too. Oh, he's dead! Ah, no. You can pop it back together, there it goes, and it's back in place. So not a big deal at all. Kind of pivots over here a little bit, crunches forward, crunches back just a little bit. We've got some paint smudging right underneath here, by the way. I just meant to... He has a waist joint too, and it's not really hindered by the belt at all. It kind of causes some paint wear, which looks kind of, messy right here, but not a big deal. because for the most part you can't see it. He does have these DCUC gaping crotch pits right there. You can move his legs forward, not too much. Not too much on the leg articulation. For some reason it seems like the right leg can move up a little bit higher. That's a little strange. You can move him not very far back, about that much, you know, get him posing. I don't know, just saw the movie. Still very stoked on Captain America over here. Alright, upper thigh swivel right over there, and his knees bend, and you can rotate them at the knees too, so there's some knee rotation, and the ankles do not move up and down. It feels like they're supposed to move up and down, but I cannot move them up and down, and it feels like there's supposed to be more ankle pivot, but not so much ankle pivot, but he does rotate side to side at the ankle very nicely. So I should warn you guys, if you have Captain America standing just like this, it gets a little tricky, a little scary anyway, about him falling over. He will fall over on you. So just be careful with him. Earlier at the video I had him kind of in a crouching kind of stance with the legs, and that seems to hold better than up and down like this. But anyway, he measures to be about 20 inches tall. And here's our Captain America compared to the NECA 1/4 scale Avengers Mark 7 Iron Man and the NECA 1/4 scale Thor from the Dark World movie line. And I think these kind of work in scale. Thor should be a lot taller, I think. Captain America and Iron Man, they look like they're too close in height, so I don't really think these really fit in scale very well, but they all look cool standing next to each other. And if you can get Cap crouching pretty well and then Thor standing more like this, then you could try to get the scale in there, but it's kind of pushing it. And here he is next to the Hot Toys Captain America First Avenger figure. This is a 1/6 scale figure, so there's your size difference. Pretty huge. And here he is next to the Hot Toys Avengers Hulk figures. So you can see Hulk is going to be way too short to fit in with these 1/4 scale figures. And here he is next to the Walmart exclusive Marvel Legends scale Captain America from the Avengers movie. I wanted to show the difference between the two color palettes on these figures, with the Marvel Legends scale one being much more vibrant. I like the palette on the NECA figure more. And there he is next to the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. So here I am trying to get these three figures in somewhat dynamic poses. Not really. They are very difficult to stand, especially Captain America and Iron Man. Iron Man being the ultimate worst. I mean, he's fallen over so many times throughout the whole year I've had him. I think he came out a year ago. But Captain America figure, not so bad. I gotta say, this is very, very cool to have these huge iconic characters in this scale. This scale is just huge, and it just really brings the characters to life even more. They have a lot of detail in them, which is great. The price point is amazing, man. $85. I think that's how much all the newer ones are going for too, man. So it's not really bad at all for what you're getting. It's pretty awesome. So I hope you guys liked the Captain America Winter Soldier movie as much as I did. I absolutely loved it. Gonna see it probably either tomorrow or Sunday. I'm really stoked to see it again. And I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and don't be afraid to subscribe. I'll catch you later. Peace.
Crispy.
With the Marvel Legends scale one being